And so this reroute, like what is this reroute? Like it's 40 years, right, that it's taken me to actually be able to have command over this hijack into fear. And I'm going to just take off these glasses for a minute. Not crazy about these glasses, they're a little bit too big on the sides. But anyway, so what is it? What is it that's made the difference in this last 36 hours of my life when I've actually been able to take the bull by the horns, right? The bull that was leading me straight into hell in panic, and actually begin to turn that animal around and create something aligned with love. Interrupt that fear and call the inner child toward the light and have the love and the clout as a mother, as a divine mother, that the child believes me, and also have the child looking enough toward the true mother that she's willing to take that leap of faith and begin opening to believe that there is something good, that there is something beautiful that wants to create with her and partner with her, instead of this dark mother that has been home for her. This dark mother has been home. I'll take this off, getting too hot. And so rerouting the child into a new mother, into a new way of being, into a new way of trusting, a new way of building. When the embryo implants into the mother's womb, there's this beautiful command, and it says, merge purpose with the mother, right? And this is a beautiful command because the baby and the mother are merging purpose to create this ideal womb, this ideal vessel, this ideal environment for beauty and creation and love, and the highest probability of what that DNA code can unfold into. So this is great. This is a great situation when you're inside the womb that is totally in alliance with your highest probability. And the two of you together are going to partner. And I think this is what is so key, because that divine mother, when you're in the womb, it's really just dependent on science, how that baby develops. But when you're in a human body and you're a grown woman or a grown man and you have a brain and you're connected to that brain's habitual patterns are what are going to determine the quality of your experience. So it's not guaranteed that you are collaborating as a being with the right force. That's not guaranteed. And in a fear-based reality, most people are unconsciously collaborating with that which is not going to bring forth their highest, right? So it's so powerful to be able to reroute when we're in self-destructive patterns. Because, fear has held me in bondage for 40 years in this life. And of course, 43 years actually. And before that, it held me in bondage in a different kind of way in my subconscious. But panic attacks and massive hijack into the magnification of fear has held me pretty much hostage, like under its thumb, what's wrapped around its finger. Remember that song by sting. You'll be wrapped around my finger, right? Like that's what the Dark Mother Matrix could say about me, that I was wrapped around its finger. And what does the loving Divine Mother do? She can't get you out when you're really wrapped in there. She just has to wait for it to untangle. And so life, has been this process of untangling all of these painful traumas so that I could get my hand back on the trigger. I could get my hand back on the creation mechanics of my free will choice to choose something else, right? It's taken 40 years of trauma clearing to get my hand on the joystick, you might say, because there's been a default position in the fear stick for so long, right? And so to get my actual consciousness on the joystick, on the well-being, on the love, on the Divine Mother. So you think about when you partner, even if you're unconsciously partnered with the Dark Mother, she has you she presses the button and you go into terror. And you don't know the pathway that takes you to that terror, to answer her beck and call, right? How do we get the power when she presses the button to say no, right? We have to cultivate strength on the side of the true mother, the true father, which is love, which is well-being, which is faith. Look at this little ball, which is trust, which is a default position of faith, trust, love. I mean, that's what the Divine Blueprint is. The Divine Blueprint is a body that has the architecture to host only love. A brain that has the architecture to know only love, only faith, only unity, right? But here in this fear-based reality, we get to feel what it feels like to recover that ability to build with the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, and to ultimately restore that cathedral, that architecture that only does the bidding of our true self. But what a process. Just 40 years to get my finger on the control stick. But I am grateful. This trip has been a real turning point, because this is probably the first time I could feel myself descending, and then I could say, wait, there's something else. Create something else. It's time to create something else. First, I'm going to trust that there is something else I could create. Right? Do I get out of the tent? Do I draw a picture? Do I go for a walk? Do I sing a song? And for me, music is a big part of it. I play these musical songs that are so full of divine love. But but it's not enough to bathe myself in divine love. I have to actively turn from collaborating with the Dark Mother to walking over. It's just a small little alignment into the Divine Queendom and say, I don't know where you are. I'm not sure how to connect to you, but I'm willing. Take me where you are. Take me where you are. And I'm open and I'm available to create with you. The opposite of this. And then the miracle. That's when the miracle happens. When we step away from the death creator, and we may not know exactly what to do, but we have to say there's something more that I'm destined for. I belong to love. I don't belong to fear. I belong to love. Now, I may not know where she is. Where are you, Mama? How do I bring my body back to peace and well-being? and the sooner you can nip it in the bud, the less your physiology has been, primed to collapse. So the sooner you can go, nope, no, this is not who I am. This is not my destiny. Where is my true mother? And how do I build with her? How do I collaborate with her? How do I listen for what she wants us to do that will take us out of this? And then for me, it was like this beautiful weaving, and I started singing, and she was saying, weave with me anew. Weave with me something so brand new. Let love here. Let love live here. Let us. And then she said, you must limit your thought forms to the parameters of fear creation. If I'm going to be able to hold you in this matrix, you have to cooperate. You have to actually not press the fear trigger over and over. You have to refrain from that. That's all you have to do. Refrain from the thought forms of the descending matrix. And that's enough. And stand with me in the unknown and the open availability to build with me something new. Isn't that so beautiful? Stand with me and we will build something new. But the big thing is it needs our collaboration. That's the amazing thing. I always thought, someday I'll be free of fear and all that will be left is love. It's a very passive way of looking at it, right? And that's true ultimately. But that's going to take a long ass time if we think of it that way, right? The more true statement is, someday I will have cleared enough trauma that when I turn from fear and ask for love, I can actually do that and begin collaborating. But it's still my loyalty that I'm going to pull out of the creation mechanics of fear. I'm going to pull my collaboration and cooperation with death out. And I'm going to ask for myself to be remade in the image of love. To be an active part of co-creating with Source Consciousness. And so I'm only at the very beginning of this. But it's so exciting to have taken back this power. And as I master this, it's really exciting to think of helping others with this. I think that's one of my big reasons for being alive. To help others come out of fear and begin collaborating with the Divine Mother of Love, Divine Father of Love. And then to live in that love and to see what we can create collectively as we begin vibrating as creators of love, conscious creators of love-based reality. And so I'm really excited for what's to come. It's July 5th, 2026. Signing off for now. May you always know that you are loved. Whenever the imposter matrix tries to take you on its ride, may you know that you belong to love and step off and join the marvelous creation of love, well-being, joy, and conscious creatorship with all you came to be. Much love.